To show the current water return line and the oil drain line. So like I said, I have the track tough fitting for the K20 Z3 water pump, which is from like a 2011 Civic, and then the track toughs to 6AN, and then I have a 90 going towards another 90. For your turbo, you need the return or the hot water out of the turbo being the higher one. You also need the orientation to go up. So cold water goes in the bottom, hot water goes out the top, and be slanted like that. So you can tell this is slanted towards the valve cover to allow the slant upwards. The water goes upwards from the bottom to the top. For the oil feed, I have a 120 degree, and then I'm gonna have a 45 degree for that for the line, and then same for the water. I have a 45 degree coming off of that fitting, which is a track tough fitting, and it's going towards, I have a banjo with a straight, like a banjo with a 6AN, and then a straight for the water. So that'll be that. I did relocate my oil pressure / temperature sensor to the sandwich plate. Instead of the fitting. This is a British pipe to 4AN from ATP. And so I have this here because I didn't want this breaking, because it's prone to breaking when you have weight. Now I am heat wrapping all of my stuff. This is DEI heat wrap along with Improved Racing sells heat shrink for heat wrap. So that's what all this stuff is. It's gonna be on every single line. It looks really, really good. And then this is just a Vibrant short filter, 4-inch. So it goes from like 5.5 to 5-inch. I don't know if that's gonna fit yet, we'll see. There is clearance for the plug. I wanted to make sure when I did it. But yeah, so that's how the turbo lines are gonna be. Here are the turbo lines completed. So I have, for oil drain, we have this timing cover billet piece that goes to 10AN, and we have a 10AN line that goes to a 10AN straight down here. And then I have adapter from the bottom of the turbo drain to 10AN. So I have a straight coming off, and then I have a 45 degree. For oil feed, I have a 45 degree British pipe thread to 4AN, a 4AN 45 degree going to a 45/120 degree. So that's oil feed. And then water feed, I have the Track Tough M18 or M20, I don't remember, to 6AN for the original oil cooler. 45 degree water fitting going to a banjo that goes straight down. I can show you what it looks like. It looks like this on the side that goes basically 6AN straight down under the turbo. You can kind of see it right there. And then that goes to, like I said, the 45, and then water return. I have the 90 off of the side going towards the 90 on the K20 Z3, I believe, water pump housing. It's all DEI heat wrapped from this stuff, DEI heat wrap. And then I have Improved Racing heat shrink, which these are the part numbers for it, if you're curious. So this is for the 10AN. This is for 6 and 8AN, and this is for 4AN. And it just makes it look really, really nice. So that's the turbo routing. And then the clocking, this is as close as I can get, or about there with the plug. And then for rotation as well, you can't really rotate anymore because this will hit the AN fitting. So you can see the drain adapter right there. And then this V-bin obviously will be facing over there. And I got the throttle body on. It's a 3-inch Bosch throttle body, turbo wire. And then the winning formula adapter / isolator. It all went on super well. No problems there. So that's what we're looking at right now. And it's gonna be going back into the car tomorrow. I got the transmission fully mounted. I did have to cut for the starter. So basically this is how much I needed to cut. I had taped it up already and forgotten to record it, but essentially it goes somewhere around that. You just have to make sure it clears the out of the starter. So basically just cut this little 2 sides and then the back, and then I put some aluminum tape over it just so nothing gets in there. This I changed to a Bosch knock sensor because Haltech with the stock knock sensor is basically a guess, and it's not strong enough, or I guess the threshold isn't high enough. It just maxes out on the Haltech way that they do it. Anyway, basically what that is, and if I remember, I'll put the part number. Basically, it converts it to this stud, which allows the knock sensor to thread on. This is a Toyota part number. I think Rywire sells a whole kit for it. But yeah, so it's just a stud that threads in with so I think it was 7 reverse E-Torques or E-Torques or whatever it's called. And then the stud goes on. This is M12 125 maybe, I don't remember, to M8, and just any M8 nut will work. So there's that knock sensor. So yeah, so we have the knock sensor, the new knock sensor. This is a K20 starter, not the K24 starter. This is a Denso remanufactured. So it's a little bit shorter. I have all the hardware tight, all the Allens tight and marked for the DCT. Everything else has been torqued and marked that is torqued. So coolant lines to start out. I'll show it when the car's again down on the floor again. So this is originally the passenger side coolant hose, and this is the driver side coolant hose. You flip them, you cut some off of this one, and then you can run, I'll show you, and I'm hoping to make something that's more of a solution for this, maybe in silicone, but I'm just gonna run hardline to go to the back of here. And then this is the hybrid swivel, although I'm pretty sure the stock ones, the way that I have it, is pretty close, so you can run it like that with a 180 or 135. Oh, the oil trans cooler fittings. This is the Seems Legit billet piece, and then the Radium 8AN banjo swivel fittings. So that'll run 8AN to the driver's side fog light area for that cooler. I have a new cam sensor coming in because I cracked one when I was test fitting the motor before I was at the strut bar mount out. I need to get the park delete. This is important. You need a park delete because basically this is in park, and then so you have to have the delete to keep it up so it spins. Can't do it with one hand. So get some sort of park delete, or if you're maintaining the manual park lever or the electronic, you need to do that. That's important. So originally I was running the Seems Legit aluminum spacer. However, I decided not to do that for a couple of reasons. Mainly, I just don't want the extra adapter and ability to vibrate, which I doubt it would, but I just don't want to take that chance. So there's a couple options. You can replace this whole hub, or this whole output flange, with HPR, I think is the company that makes, instead of it being pressed on, it slips onto the threads, and then it makes it into a 1350 joint. I am going to just keep this and then get the billet drive shaft joint that's meant for, this is 105 millimeter diameter circle for the bolt holes, and this is only for the 135Is and 335Is. So the close ratio 6-cylinder DCT. The other one's 110 millimeters, so they're bigger and they're more standard. But this is kind of a special one. So that will be on my drive shaft with the slip shaft, and then go to the BRZ rear flange.